It was a land of magnificent temples, splendid forts, and beautiful lakes, ruled over by a warrior civilization. It had a buzzing network of domestic and foreign trade. Employing an array of scientific leaders, ecological innovators, and expertly skilled artisans. Its people and culture thrived. The structures you see here were once a glorious kingdom that flourished in the 12th century. This is Orugallu, situated in the South Indian district of Telangana. Kakatiya rulers were innovative and engineering people. Their kingdoms were built on an ethos of three factors: tanks, temples, and towns. Temples were developed as a social network, a place to educate the masses and attend worship which was necessary for society. As the agrarian population grew in size and location. Orugallu was built upon a sparsely populated and dry area, so the Kakatiya people developed a chain of tanks designed to preserve every drop of water. As one tank filled, an overflow system deposited water from one tank to the next, thus creating a chain system. Eventually, the water would reach the Godavari or Krishna basin, conserving the water to be used again. The Kakatiya people truly were kings of recycling, as the same tank system is still used today. The Kakatiya people were highly skilled and advanced for their time. Not only were they a highly ecological and sustainable nation, They also developed specialist construction techniques for their buildings and temples. The two most notable temples are the Thousand Pillar Temple and the Ramappa Temple. Unlike any other, they both have distinctive construction methods. The Ramappa Temple is an amazing structure that stands 6 foot tall on a star-shaped foundation. It is the perfect example of the artistic vision of the Kakatiya people. With beautiful artworks and intricate carvings adorning the walls. Pillars and ceilings. This, however, is not the most fascinating feature of the temple. The roof of the Ramappa temple was built using floating bricks. Yes, bricks that float on water, using a unique mixture of gum, rice husk, jute and clay. The Kakatiya people developed bricks light enough to float on water and stronger than any other building brick. These specialist bricks were made by mixing the concoction of elements and firing them at a specific temperature in a kiln. This process caused the vaporization of the organic resin which was present in the gum, resulting in honeycomb-like hollows in the brick. Since these hollows were not connected, these bricks were highly porous and had less water absorption, thereby having low density and thus could float in water. An added advantage to this was the extremely light weight that the bricks put on the foundations of the temple. The Thousand Pillar Temple is the second structure of significance when discovering the engineering genius of the Kakatiya people. True to its name, the Thousand Pillar Temple has 1,000 intricately carved pillars within it. Through careful precision and mathematics, the Kakatiya architects designed the temple so that not a single one of the 1,000 pillars obstructed a person's view of the sculptures of Hindu gods within the 3 temples. Just imagine the skilled engineering needed to achieve this. It's made up of 3 shrines called the Trikutalayam that are dedicated to 3 Hindu gods, Lord Shiva, Vishnu and Surya. The carvings on the structures is so precise that anything larger than a human hair will not pass through. Like the Ramappa temple, the 1,000-pillar temple is built upon a star-shaped foundation. Its detailed carvings depict elephants, and the temple is surrounded by several small shrines and lingams representing Shiva, the Hindu god. There's also a highly polished bull sculpture in the form of a black basalt monolith that sits within the gardens surrounding the temple. The engineering genius of the Kakatiya architects didn't stop there, however. In order to create strong foundations for their temples, the Kakatiya people used a specialist technique of building, referenced today as sandbox technology. It's a unique and complex method of construction that was designed to be earthquake-proof. To create these foundations, the land was excavated 3 meters deep, creating a box. This box was then filled with a mixture of sand, engineered to perfection. This sandbox worked like a cushion and could absorb stress from all sides. In the event of an earthquake, the primary and the secondary vibrations emitted would have lost most of their strength by the time they reached the construction. To build the structures on top of the sandbox foundations, stones of granite and sandstone were used. It's noted that the Kakatiya people embraced the expertise of rock mechanics to advise the best type of stones to be used. These rocks were then reinforced with iron dowels to further prevent damage during an earthquake. The Kakatiya's ecological developments, combined with a progressive infrastructure, made Orugallu a prime location and attracted many settlers. A large population of early tribespeople became easy to recruit, and thus a peasant warrior civilization was born. A large population would need an impressive town, completing the third factor in the Kakatiya ethos. Orugallu Fort was surrounded by 2 major walls, Mud Fort and Inner Fort. The outer wall was surrounded by a moat to protect the city from intruders, and a second inner wall managed the flow of the population. Built within the inner wall were 4 famous stone gateways. These grand entrances measured 30 feet high and are still standing, intact. Notice the intricate carvings depicting lotus buds, mythical animals, and dance poses, a masterpiece carved from a single rock. These gateways were called Kirti Toranas, meaning gateways of glory. The word Orugallu means built from a single rock. Oru translates as one and Galu as stone. A direct translation, as this is exactly how the Kakatiya people created their kingdom. There's an interesting story as to how the Kakatiya people discovered their city. Before the grand kingdom of Orugallu was built, Kakatiya kings had settled to the west of Orugallu in a town called Hanumakonda. The tale goes, one night a band of merchants were traveling east in a bullock cart. When one of the wheels got stuck in a bog of mud. They started to dig in order to release the wheel and discovered a large rock beneath the ground. This rock was known as a Shiva Lingam, meaning sacred stone. Upon hearing about this sacred stone, Kakatiya kings explored the region and decided to carve a beautiful temple into the rock. Once this was completed, the kingdom of Kakatiyas was moved to Orugallu, and Orugallu Fort was built. For some time, the Kakatiya Empire was ruled over by a female monarch named Rudrama Devi. Rudrama was a powerful, forward-thinking and fair queen, and she had previously developed a new and effective method of ruling. She recruited a large number of warriors from non-aristocratic families, granting her people rights to own land and receive land tax revenue, which won support from her people. Her unique story was described in the iconic book, The Travels of Marco Polo. Written by the famous Venetian merchant traveler Marco Polo himself after he visited her kingdom during a visit to India. Orugallu was invaded by the Deccan in 1310, and during a tempestuous battle. It was at this time that the temples, treasures and land was taken from Kakatiya power. Orugallu and the Kakatiya Dynasty is recognized for its incredible contributions to India and today. Firstly, the progressive societal developments of the Kakatiya Dynasty brought together Telugu natives from a major geographical area under one umbrella, contributing to the cultural development of South India. Also, the surviving examples of carvings and decoration from the gateways and temples within the fort show testament to the creative masterpieces and artistic developments of Indian art history. But most importantly, it is the extraordinary safety factors incorporated within the Ramappa Temple that deserves UNESCO World Heritage recognition. Unlike any other structures from this period, the Ramappa Temple comprises sophisticated geotechnology. The tank system that harvested rainwater created a sustainable nation in the 12th century and was so advanced it's still used today. Also, the earthquake-proof sandbox technology, alongside the distinctive floating bricks of Shikara, prove that the engineering genius of the Ramappa temple is superior and unlike any other World Heritage listed site.